everybody, welcome back to my workshop in my garage. What we're going to be doing in today's video is going over doing the finish work on the neck, including finishing the fretboards and doing the back of the neck. We're not going to do the headstock in this video, that's going to be in another video when I do the body finishes. We're also going to be doing the access covers for the control cavity in the back. Let's get rolling. But just a little bit of linseed oil on a rag and rub it into the surface. And then this linseed oil will saturate down into the wood, and then after about 5 minutes you just wipe off the excess. And you can see that's really making that grain on that fretboard pop out. I want to get a good amount on here so it has plenty to soak in. And then I'll let this sit for about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then wipe off the excess. And this way, when I'm doing the rest of the finish, this is going to have time to dry and cure really good before I start doing the rest of the finish on the guitars. That way I can handle the necks better without having to worry about constantly degreasing it to keep from stuff soaking into the wood. And I'll probably do 2 coats on this. I'll probably let this dry for a good 24 to 48 hours and then do the next coat. But look how the way it's bringing that grain out, that flame on that maple. And that Birdseye figuring on the fretboard on the other one is coming out really nice. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, so we're just going to go ahead and wipe this excess off of here. I've got a clean rag, and just going to go through and wipe off any excess. That way it doesn't build up and gum up the surface. And then it'll just be a matter of hanging these up, letting them dry. I need to go ahead and get the back control covers completed for both these guitars, and I'm going to be doing them out of a piece of Birdseye maple. That way it kind of complements the front and the fretboards of the guitars. So what I've done is I'm just using the template here that I used to route out the back cavity. I've traced the line out. I'm going to cut it up in the bandsaw and then smooth out all the edges on the belt sander and get those to fit, and then I'm going to be using magnets to install these with. So this will go through the process of doing that. So what I've got ready is I've went ahead and routed out some spots for the magnets on the back of the covers. I've got the holes drilled for in the bodies for the magnets, and what I've done now is I've went through and I've oriented the magnets to where the south side is facing up on the body and to where the north side will be facing up on the back plates. That way when I put them in, opposites attract. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix up some epoxy, put it in these holes, drop the magnets in, and let that cure. And I'm just using some 5-minute epoxy, so it'll be a pretty quick process. Now that I've got some epoxy in the holes, just going to take these magnets and slide them in. That way I make sure that my orientations didn't change on them and everything's good. All right, now just bring it over and do the covers. And there we have it. Magnets all glued in. Gonna let that cure. That's gonna allow me to put the back plates on the guitars and just use the sander, sand them all level, because the next step in this is gonna be starting the finishing process. All right, so getting ready to put the oil finish on the neck. As you can see, I've taped off my neck heel to protect the body because it's not covered yet. And I wanted to do the necks first, just so when I do the body I don't get any bleed over into the neck. That way if there is any stain that gets on the neck or whatever, I have time to wipe it off before it sinks into the wood because it'll already have a finish on it. I've also taped off the headstock because that's going to actually be getting a color match finish to the body. With the fretboard already done in linseed oil, I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to the back of the necks now. I'll be doing several coats of this. So I'm going to video the first coat here, and then the subsequent coats, I'm just going to do off camera, and then you'll see the end result, because this takes about, I like to leave it about 24 hours to dry between applications. I have cleaned the neck. I went through with naphtha and cleaned the neck. The neck's been polished down to 1200 grit on the back of the neck, so right now it's super smooth. So when that oil gets on there, it's going to be a nice silky feel on it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a coat of oil on this. Here we go, this is better. And as you can see, that's the reason why I taped off the neck joint, is because I don't want any of this oil getting onto the other wood yet. And you can see that richens up that maple nicely. Sorry about the noise there, my neighbor's doing some yard work. Here in Arizona, that gets started up pretty quick. As you can see, this tung oil brings out a nice rich color, or not tung oil, but linseed oil brings out a nice rich color in the neck. What I'm going to do now is just let this soak in for about 10 minutes, and then I'll come back with the rag and buff it all off. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I just want to say again, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch what I'm doing. If you like what you see, go ahead and click like and subscribe. And just as a reminder, the Great Guitar Build-Off is currently in progress. We'll be starting to post videos around the 1 April time frame. I do have my project picked out. I'm going to get that video up here pretty quick once April rolls around so everybody can see what I'm doing. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, take care.